Okay. All right. So let's get started then. So today we're doing a deep dive into marketing. So we're going to be talking about how to generate leads for buyers and sellers through marketing seller listings. And any questions, ahas, anything you want to ask about previous sessions of Ignite before we get started? Okay. All right, so, sorry, hold on. Okay, so we're going to talk about today marketing versus prospecting. We're going to go over how to think deeply into marketing, taking action to create and post marketing materials, recaps, and then our daily success habits. So after this section, you should be able to differentiate between marketing and prospecting. Can anybody tell me what the difference is between marketing and prospecting?
One's like active and one's more of like inactive, I guess I don't know how we explained it yesterday, but.
Okay. Yeah, so one is more passive and then one's active. So marketing and prospecting. So marketing is putting your money to work intensively through passive and getting long-term results. Where prospecting is time, intensivity, proactivity, and getting immediate results. So it, as far as marketing, prospecting, which one to do more of, which one to do less of, we're going to get into talking that and when it's a good time to do both. So what are some examples of marketing that you've seen or familiar with in our industry?
So marketing, just kind of taking, properties that are active and putting them on social media, doing little video ads, things like that, sending out flyers, postcards.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Anybody else?
Well, what I seem to notice lately is more prospecting or no, I'm sorry, actually marketing done probably with regard to, I'll see these little ads pop up on Facebook where they say, value your house or find out what your house is worth. And I'm assuming, I haven't clicked on any of those, but I'm assuming that those are kind of backdoors into getting leads and getting your name out there.
Yeah, awesome. We're going to talk about how to do some of those today too. So thanks for sharing that. Okay, so thinking deeply about marketing. So that's the next topic we're going to dive into here. So we're going to go over the characteristics, pros and cons, and use case-by-case scenarios and examining marketing methods. So this slide here shows you all the different prospecting that you can do, all the different marketing you can do, and then what ties into both. So I want you to read over that, look over that real quick. I'm going to grab something else. I'll be right back. Right. So hopefully you guys read that over, and I apologize. I wasn't informed. I wasn't as prepared to do this on Zoom today. So I apologize, but I just want to get this other monitor back up so I can better go over this stuff with you guys. Give me 30 seconds and I'll be up and running. Oops. Okay, so you guys can see the screen still with all the different types of marketing on there?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. So what ones have you guys done that are on this list? Just give me a couple examples. Come on, guys, let's participate a little bit. Need some interaction. I don't want to talk to myself.
I've done recently sold listings or recently sold on the buyer's end.
Any results from that?
No, I can't say I really have any much results from that. I'm more just periodically sending out and hoping I'm going to see results, just kind of staying top of mind in that area. So I guess that's kind of farming too, in a sense.
Yeah.
Sold in an area that I.
What's that?
Sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
that's
go
okay.
ahead.
Well, my question is, when you said recently sold, so am I right in assuming that is, they've got to find another one now, and you're working that kind of from the back end, saying, well, if they've recently sold a house, they may be actively looking for another one?
So recently sold are, so if I have a listing and we just sold that listing, she's sending out postcards or a mailer of some sort saying, hey, we just sold this property, and asking the question.
Okay,
Yeah. So,
okay,
but great question, Ray.
okay. So that's, the little postcard that says, look what sold, 3 houses down from you, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Yep, you got it. Yeah.
Okay.
So as you can see, there's a ton of different ways to prospect. There's a ton of different ways to marketing. And then there's the middle line where you can do both, farming with the events, the networking, and then buying paid advertising or leads. Now, getting into what you should start with or what you should do, even Gary Keller talks about this, is you should always probably lead with prospecting first, because that's going to be where your quick business comes from. Marketing is one of those things that's more of a time commitment and a money commitment that is going to keep your name out there, keep people informed of who you are, and will eventually lead to business. So sometimes it's not always the smartest thing to start with the marketing, especially if you're not producing and having income coming in yet, because you could burn through some money pretty quickly. So let's jump on to the next one. Okay. So this is in page 5 of your guide, if you guys have that. So you're going to be asking some marketing questions and considerations. So first question, how do you know where the customer is and how do you meet them there? So I'm looking for answers to these two. So if you know that, jump on in. How do you know where the customer is and how do you meet them there? Okay, so we don't know where our customer is. How are we going to market to them? What do we got to do first? We got to know who we want to target, correct? So are you going to be targeting first-time home buyers? Are you going to be targeting your sphere? Are you going to be targeting neighborhoods? That's something that you got to decide first, is where do you want to go? Because for us to try to, if we go back, if we go back and we try to do all of these prospecting things and all these marketing things, it's nearly impossible. You're not going to be able to track that. You're not going to know what's coming from where. You're not going to be able to know if it's working or not working. So you really want to get focused on 2 or 3 where you want to put your time and energy in. And this isn't like a short game where you're going to do one of these things for a couple of weeks, and if you don't get results, you're going to move on to something else. It's going to take probably good with any of these 2, 3, 4 months until you start really seeing, especially with the marketing side, sometimes even longer, until you start seeing these things pay off. So how do you communicate your value proposition? I believe we've talked about value proposition in the other classes. So what's ways we can communicate that effectively? Anybody want to jump in? You should be writing these questions down too. And if you don't have answers to them, go back and start brainstorming and masterminding around these questions.
I'd say proof in year numbers or testimonials, things like that, that people can see on their own, you communicating it to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And first and foremost, do you know what your value proposition is? So if you don't know it, how are you going to effectively communicate that to other people? So how can you come from contribution or connect in a meaningful way? So let's say you are farming an area. What can you do to your farm to contribute or connect with them? What's an item of value you could give to your neighborhood? So I'll give you an example, something, and we haven't done this yet, and this is something we're going to do in the springtime, is we're actually going to hold a shred day for our neighborhood. So we're going to bring in a shred truck, and we're going to invite the whole neighborhood to come get rid of all their paper that they want to shred. And that's going to be a way that we can contribute to our neighborhood. So I'll let you know how it goes. There's other things you can throw in, again, farming. You could throw an ice cream social for your neighborhood. You could get a food truck to come to the neighborhood. You could go around door knocking and offer home valuations to everybody if they know what their home value is. So, I mean, there's a bunch of different ways to do it. And I want to be clear with farming, since we're talking about that, it's not just one time. Like if you do one thing and you expect to see results,
Hey guys, it's Megan. I'm not sure what happened to Chris, but I'm gonna go see. I'll be right back.
sorry about that, guys. My computer totally dropped out. Don't know what happened there. Everybody hear me or see me still?
Yep.
Okay. All right, let me get this back up. Okay, so moving along here. So how important do you think branding and aesthetic consistency is in your marketing? How do you achieve it? So one thing that I focus on with our marketing is that it's very consistent, that no matter what we're doing, people are seeing the same branding, same images, same colors, same fonts, same style of marketing, so that it's much more noticeable. We're not changing our pieces constantly. or doing different things, because then it's not as recognizable. So just make sure you're consistent with whatever marketing you're doing. And then now that you did all this and you're getting leads, how do you, or how should you follow up with leads that are generated from your marketing? Anybody want to jump in there? How do you follow up with those leads?
Phone calls, and then, just little cards as you go along. Just be consistent.
Yeah. And that's really the name of it, consistency. And ultimately put them in your database, get them on some type of drip as well. Okay. So
I have a
take
question.
action. Oh, go ahead.
Along those lines, when you say lead follow-up and you make the phone call and you send out a card, hey, nice speaking to you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm new, so I have no idea what the turnaround is for that. So does it often take months for that person to kind of come back to you with, hey, I'm ready to sell now? Or, what typically is I guess the percentage of feedback? Do you get a lot of, just, no, I'm not interested, no thanks, and you never hear from them again? Or how often do those phone calls and cards turn back into a solid prospect?
Yeah,
What is your guys' experience with that?
that's a great question. If anybody else, wants to answer that, please feel free to jump in. So what we typically see is it's different all across the board. Now with like Facebook leads or Google leads or even realtor.com leads, sometimes like those Facebook leads are probably the longest nurtures that I've seen. With farming, you're going to see more, probably 3 to 6 months, but you're going to get those people every now and then too. They're like, hey, I'm ready to do something. Your timing was perfect. I was just about to start calling around for a realtor. So come on and over and let's talk about selling my house. Those are the best kind of calls. They don't happen all the time, but they happen. Typically, I find that they're usually 3 to 6 months nurtures. And then it just comes into your follow-up and making sure you're doing the right follow-up to not lose them. If anybody has anything else they want to add to that, please feel free to jump in.
Yeah, another follow-up to that. So when that kind of, when your little reminder pops up and you say, okay, it's been 3 months, I want to rattle their cage again a little bit. How do you go in subtly with that reconnect, or do you go phone call, card again, or do you just kind of send them an email? Hey, I'm still out here. Hey, just touching base to see what's going on. How do you play that? Is it subtle, or do you go in kind of strong that second time?
Yeah, I mean, that's also a great question. So let's say we have somebody that's 3 months out. I'm staying in touch with them probably every couple of weeks because things change rapidly for people. Circumstances change in their lives. And all of a sudden they may be ready to buy in 30 days instead of the 90 to 120 days they initially told me. And those are just, hey, checking in, just want to make sure I'm here for you to answer any questions. Rates have been moving a little bit, so just wanted to make sure you were aware of what's happening in the market. Let me know if I can help in any way. And with that too, sometimes maybe every other phone call or every other time I'm talking with them, I'm asking if they want to meet and just go over any details so they're even more prepared for when they're ready to buy. So that'll sound like something like, hey, I just wanted to follow up, see how things are going. I know you told me you were 90 days out, but I would love to get together with you just to, put a plan together so that you can execute at a high level when you're ready to buy, and that we're not wasting any time missing out on opportunities should something come up in the near future here for you. So do you think you could get together with this week, maybe tomorrow, 4 o'clock? And if they say no, I say, okay, great. Okay to follow up with you in another couple of weeks. And 9 times out of 10, they're like, yeah, please. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so where are we at here? We're at taking action, creating marketing materials in Command. Has anybody used Command yet to put together marketing materials?
Yeah, I have. I found it was pretty simple. I also started using Canva, which I found to be a little bit easier, but once I got all the cool designs off of Command, it made it super easy both ways.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So we do both. There's a few things we use in Command, and there's a lot we do in Canva too. So I'm with you there, Danielle. Um, if you haven't gone into Command though, and started playing with their designs, I would think the best thing to use it for is just ideas. And they're already pretty much created there. So if you spend 10-15 minutes in here, you can put something together really quick, for open houses, for your just listed, just sold. There's listing presentations in there. If you don't have a listing presentation, I mean, they're basic, but they're better than walking in with nothing. There's social media posts you can use. So I just get in there, start playing around with it, and start using it, because there is a lot of great material in there. So this is going to be in the designs. When you log into Command, you click on designs, and you can click on social media, and start playing and putting this stuff together. The templates will it pretty much will walk you through anything. Does anybody have any questions on this part? I don't know. I mean, I know they do a lot of classes on Command and designs. I don't want to waste too much time showing the things in here, but if you do have questions, please feel free to reach out to me, because we can walk you through this stuff pretty quickly. So, all right, I'm going to move on to the next one. Has everybody that's on the call at least opened up Command and have gotten into Command? Has anybody not used Command? Let me put it that way.
I have not. I'm probably too new. I haven't passed my test yet. So,
Oh, awesome, right.
probably, I mean, I can go in there, probably play around a little bit, but I can't really launch anything, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I would encourage you to go in there, start playing around with stuff, and you can get lost in there sometimes. So, all right. So this is an example of an open house. So you're invited, quick and easy. You just drop in, if you have the photos, you drop them in there, you edit the verbiage, and you're done. So I was supposed to ask you, what do you think the purpose of this marketing piece is? I kind of already gave you the answer. Anybody, what else do you think you could use this for though? So what are things you think you could do or add to improve this piece?
Well, I probably personally put my number on there. I can't really read in the bottom there with the three ladies, but I know Jen Deal always says it's real important to have your face on there, your number, and maybe even a picture of the outside of the home.
Yeah, that's awesome. So making sure your contact information is clearly readable, I think, is huge. As far as photos go, yeah, the most appealing photos, I think, is great. Front of the house, maybe one or two of the interior. The other thing is that it really doesn't tell you what you're invited to. Are we having a party? Is it a Super Bowl party? Is it an open house? We can't just assume. And then there's no price or details about the home on there either. So those are some nice features that you could add also, to make sure you're hitting your target market. Let's see here. So what do you think you will want to keep in mind when creating certain marketing pieces? And I think we just kind of covered that. Like for you, and anybody can jump in, for you, what do you feel you want to make sure everybody's seeing when they see your marketing?
I like to keep it simple, but informative. You don't want too much going on, too much to read. You don't want them to get lost. You want to the point and open house. here's the address, time, and my info.
Yeah. Awesome. How do you know if it's a successful marketing piece? Sorry, I couldn't get that out. Well, let's say this is an open house. So people come to the open house, that's a good start.
Mhm.
And we want to make sure we're tracking it. So are you asking people where they saw you? How'd they hear about it? You know, if they say, oh, I saw that post on Facebook, awesome. So those are just things you want to make sure you're doing with marketing, is you're asking questions of where people saw you or where they heard about it. Because then you're going to know if it's working or not. So this is a great piece. So what do you think the intention of this piece is? And is anybody using this?
I have not used this. Is this like a farming piece?
Yeah, it could be used as a
For
farming piece for sure. We actually were using this in our monthly newsletters too. And we were targeting certain areas and say, you know, even because you can do this with cities, you can do this with neighborhoods, and putting this information in there. So it's an awesome piece. Or you could also use this specifically for your DRIM campaigns. I don't think this is the neighborhood nurture. I can't remember what that looks like. I haven't looked at it in a while. But we were using this for something with farming, and we were getting good interaction. So just remember, it's in the details. You know, people want to see, I feel people want to see prices a lot. I go back and forth with that sometimes, because sometimes when we don't put pricing in, we have people reach out, oh, what's the price? Well, that's a great cue to start a conversation with somebody if they're asking what the price is. But that's to your comfort level and what you want to do, if you want to have prices in there or not. But be specific with certain details that you want to make sure are in your marketing pieces.
I do have a comment to make along those lines. And again, keep in mind,
Sure.
But as a buyer, one of the things, and again, maybe I'm not, but one of the things that would irritate me is you get something like this, maybe it's online, right, in a Facebook ad or realtor.com, and you click on it. And instead of being taken to that property, you would get that, fill in these, 6 spaces with your name, your phone number, your email address. Well, no, I want to go to that property first. If that grabs me, then I will fill in the form. And again, this is my personal feeling, is I would back out of that right away. If I got sent to a form, I'm done. I'm backing all the way out, and I'm going on to the next ad or the next picture, or I'm going to go to Zillow or Realtor and look at it myself. It was just, and again, I don't know if that's typical or not, but for me, that was irritating. Take me
Yeah.
to the property first, and then, there should be a click, and then take me to the form if I want to go further. That's just my opinion. I don't know if that's typical or
Yeah,
not.
so
My
that's
2 cents.
That's a great comment, Ray, and that gets brought up a lot. And there's actually a lot of data and studies that go behind that. What is the right way to do it? Do you allow people to see properties right away? Do you let them see 2 or 3 photos, then ask for their information? Or do you ask for their information right away? What has been found is that if people are hesitant to put their information in, they're not as serious of buyers as you want, and you're more than likely going to waste time with them if they do reach out. The whole point around this is to collect data and information, because without that, you can't engage in a conversation. So I used to feel the same way you did in the beginning, but then what we realized is the same thing. And I think we're set up on like a 2 or 3 photos, and then it has to ask for information. I haven't actually looked at that in a while, but I'm pretty sure that's how we have ours set up. So you give them a little tease and then you ask for the info. But with our Facebook ads, we have a ton of success with people signing up. And if people are serious and they want to see the property, they're going to put their information in. So, that's at your discretion though, how you want to do that.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. So again, right now we're supposed to let you play in Command, but I feel like you guys can do that on your own time. Get in there, play around with it. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me, Michael, and our marketing team here, because we can all help guide you guys in the right direction. First and foremost, though, too, is make sure your marketing profile in Command is set up, and that's under settings. So that is going to be the first thing you're going to want to do before you start playing around with this, is get that marketing profile set up. Okay. So let's see here. So we're going to dive into campaigns real quick. So I'm just going to take you, has anybody done a campaign in Command?
I have.
Cool. Are you doing them a lot, Danielle, or how many have you done?
No, I haven't done them a lot. I've probably done 3, 4, maybe 5 at the most.
Okay. How's your results been?
Honestly, it's surprisingly good. When I shared it to Facebook, I got quite a few leads off of that.
Paid or not paid?
I did do paid, but it was not much money, and I can't remember exactly how much. I think I spent under $10, but I think it touched quite a few people, and I ended up getting I want to say like 40 leads off of just that one ad.
Yeah, that's awesome. What kind of ad was it?
It was I want to say it was one of Joy Larson's listings,
Okay.
and I just shared that courtesy of her, and because it was a cute house, and yeah, I know a lot of people want to see it, so.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, 40 is really good, especially if you're only spending like $20, $30.
Yeah, that was like $11 I think I spent. So she was like, "Wow, that was pretty good." Now they weren't all like that, but pretty
Well,
good.
whatever you did there, I would say duplicate it and do it again, because whatever you had was working. So, and this, I don't know if we're going to be able to get into this because of how slow this is loading. Can you guys see my command page?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's your campaign dashboard. So you can see what you spent, the performance, lead to goal, and then the different ads that we have, put on there too. So this is this is a cool one too. I don't know how old this is, but this is a neighborhood video campaign. So you can actually put a video together and people can see the stats of a specific neighborhood. You can post that to social media. You can put that in an email. You can put that I think you can even put it in a text. So it's just a lot of fun tools you can use in here to start just staying in front of people. You can set up your email campaigns. You can do your direct mail. Has anybody done direct mail through Command? If you haven't, check it out. It's way, in my opinion, I like it better than some of the other direct mail campaigns that you can do through like the post office or other companies. It's probably one of the cheapest as well. And you can actually target, if anybody's ever done the post office, you have to do like a section of streets of a neighborhood. You can't pick the streets. In Command, you can physically pick the streets and you can narrow it down to specific houses too. So if there's certain houses that you do not want to send pieces to, you can uncheck them and it won't go to it. So a really cool feature in Command is the direct mail piece. Paid ads, this is going to be your social media, your Google AdWords, things of that nature. So let's see when we have done here recently. So this one on Prospect, a lot, for some reason, a lot of mine have gotten deleted recently. But typically we're seeing anywhere from 40 to 60 leads. I haven't been doing these, somebody else has been, and the results haven't been as great. So I'm probably going to actually take these back over and start doing them myself. But typically when I put a house in there, we're getting anywhere, like I said, from 40 to, I think the highest campaign we did was like 92 leads or something like that. Now, keep in mind, Facebook leads are a long-term play. They are anywhere from usually 6 to 12 months out is what we've noticed. And they're a lot harder to convert, but it is a way to get very inexpensive leads to start practicing calling and doing lead gen on and follow up. Any questions with that? Do you guys want me to dive in any deeper on this?
I'm good. I understand that part of it.
I do have a question regarding that. It looks like, when I see duration here, it looks like you blasted out there for that handful of days and that's it. And that's all that's really needed to net those, however many leads you're looking for. Is that an accurate statement?
Yeah, so this first one up top, the Buyers and Bruce, we just did an event last weekend for first time or for buyers. And we did a longer session with that, 7 days. We didn't get any leads off of it. That this is very specific. The last time we did this, we had like 5 people sign up through Facebook. This time we had 0. The houses, when we promote our listings, these are minimum 5 days because we want to get it through the weekend. And even if it goes under contract, we still want it to run because we're still getting leads from it. So 5 days, $20 to $30 is typically what we do. And we see a lot of great results off of that. Hope that helps.
Sorry, one more question. And it
Yeah.
sounds like you just hit on it a little bit there. So when you're picking the time range for that to run, you're grabbing the end of a week, spanning the weekend. Is that kind of what you see as the best result?
Yeah, I'm usually starting it on Wednesday and carrying it through the weekend. Because we're specific about when we put our houses on the market too. Like I try to always list our houses on a Thursday. So I want to start that ad either Wednesday or Thursday and then carry it for 5 days. And that's just me. I mean, there's other people doing all kinds of different things. So I, again, play with different stuff. You can run ads, same ads. You can market the same house with different ads, see what's working better. Just all about how much you want to spend and how much you want to play around with it until you find something that works for you.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah. So just kind of talked about the social posting and everything. So any ahas, recaps, questions on Command and campaigns? So ahas to achievement recap. So just with the questions below is, our goal is to help you think, feel, act, and use what you've learned to ignite all of this to achieve your big why. So through this session, what has changed for you? Have you thought about anything differently? Do you feel differently about any of these concepts? And what actions are you going to take to reach your goals? Please jump in, give me some good stuff.
Definitely going to try out that campaign situation again. Like you said, I didn't realize, I know Jen had said how many leads I got was pretty good, but I'm looking on some of my other ones on here and it was significantly better. So
Yeah, and one of the things too is you get to, I can go in real quick. Okay, so let's say I wanted to take this listing, you're gonna do your copy, your description, your headline, your media. So there's 10 of you on this call. So I'll share this with you guys. This is what I've noticed that has worked extremely well for us to get us more clicks and more people to, and more leads to come in. I only post one picture, and that is the front of the house, and that is it. I don't put any more pictures in that Facebook ad. If they want to see more pictures, they have to click on that link and they have to sign up. I've tested that time and time again, and every time I only put one photo up there, we have significant higher results. The other thing is your Facebook settings. I think it's under, let's see. Yes, so custom settings. If you're not doing this, you have the add interest button down here. And this will bring up all of these different interests that you can target. There's a couple specific ones that you pretty much want to have in every single one, and that is going to be Zillow, Realtor.com, and Trulia. So those are three that I would always suggest having in here, and then go through this list. There's probably about 20 to 25 that you could use in your marketing to target people. You want to stay between 8 to 12. Once you get over 12, it's too much, and you're gonna the target audience gets too small. So stay between 8 to 12 and go through it, and those are the target audience, so to speak, or the interest that you want to constantly play around with and try different matches and pairs to see what's working best for you. And I kind of narrowed it down to what I feel works great for our ads, and I don't know what they are off the top of my head, but I know those three are always on there. So, anything else? Any other ahas? Love to hear some.
You know, being reminded to just focus on 3 is great advice, because as a new agent, I did feel like I was all over the place, and that is not how you're going to see results. Just have to stick with, you know, what you feel is working, you know, what 2 or 3 really, you know, engage you with other consumers, and just keep going, because you will start to see results, because I know I have been starting to, and it's just slow go, but it happens.
Yeah, 100%. If you look at all the top agents across the country and you look at their marketing, they have no more than 5 main marketing that they go after. And most of them are actually like 3 or 4. So really narrow it down to what you feel most comfortable. And it might change over time. But as you're working on it though, don't try to go over, I would say probably 3 right now. And if one's not working, then stick with the other 2 and replace one of them, and then keep going. But you got to give it time too. So I love that, Jalissa. Thanks. All right, so we're going to jump into goals to set your career on fire. So the goal is obviously to get your first contract and closing. I know some of you have already done that, but what activities do you need to do to grow and run your business? So Command tracks your database health So if that's on your main page, so that's always something that's good to keep an eye on is continue to build that health score and try to get it over 50% and then keep building on it through there. Some ways to do that too is to add 10 contacts a week. If you can do it a day, do it every day. On our team, we shoot for 10 contacts a week to add to our database. 10 conversations a day, at minimum, 10 handwritten notes, and then go out and preview 10 homes per week. So 10, 10, 10, 10.
What's the handwritten note consist of? Is that a reminder to yourself? Is that, what is
Yeah,
it?
great question. So that is actually a note to somebody in your sphere or somebody you met with, like, hey, somebody you did business with. Just like a gratitude card almost. Hey, just was thinking of you. Just wanted to say, just, appreciate you being in my life, or thank you for this. If you ever need anything, please feel free to reach out. Something that simple and easy. So it's just the power of handwritten cards. It is one of the best pieces of marketing to engage with your database because it's very personable.
Okay.
So part of daily success habits is memorizing and internalizing scripts. How many of you script in role play?
We do.
Awesome.
Probably not as much as I should because I still get nervous about some of those expireds and for sale by owners, but
Yep.
work in progress.
Yep. Why do you feel it's important though to learn scripts and internalize them?
Because it helps you feel more comfortable. You feel a little bit more confident about what you're talking about. Because if you're reading a script and I'm maybe unsure of maybe a rebuttal, I'm definitely asking somebody and figuring that out. And it just makes me feel more comfortable in my conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. So do you know that 77% of things said with confidence are believed?
I believe that.
Yeah. I just made that up. I'm just kidding. That's actually true. That is actually
With such
true.
confidence, I believe it.
What's that?
You said it with such confidence, I believe it.
No, but it really is. It's 77% of things said with confidence are believed. So the more you know your scripts and internalize them and know how to handle an objection, the better chances you are going to have and win that business. So scripts also help us control the conversation, right? We want to make sure we're in control when we're meeting with somebody and not the other way around. Because it's when the prospect starts controlling that conversation is when we lose. So, and how do we control it is one, we know our scripts, we know the objection handlers, we're confident, and we're asking very good questions and making it about them, not us. What other ways do scripts help? What about communicating our value proposition?
Yeah.
And then the other thing is listening. Is when we know our scripts too, we know what keywords to listen for, and we know where we have to go with our conversations. So I would encourage you to, whether you do or don't, find a script partner that you guys get on a call every day. I would do every day for 15 minutes in the morning. Don't do any small talk, just jump into scripts. If you don't have a script and role play, just read over your scripts for 15 minutes a day. We just talked about that a little bit. So they say 30 minutes. 30 minutes is great. I say 15. I'm a little over on time, guys. I'm almost done. If you got to jump off, I totally get it. But find a partner. We have people on our team that are always looking for partners. You can post on the Elevate page if you want to partner. But this is I feel one of the most important things to just get better at your trade. You can also record it as well if you want to even get really particular about how you respond to certain questions or certain objections, and then see how your tonality is and how you're interacting. It actually works. It's amazing how much that works. I've only done it a couple times. It's uncomfortable, and we also need to be uncomfortable to make changes. Always be aware of the do not call list. So if they're on the do not call list, do not call them. Fines are up to, I think, $44,200 and some dollars for your first fine if you get reported. So it's serious. So just make sure you are always complying with that. Lead generation, should be doing for an hour a day at minimum, and then 30 minutes to update your contacts and follow up. And then contract practice as well for 30 minutes, knowing how to put the contracts together and any objection handlers for contracts. If you need any help too, you can always go to Connect. There's a ton. If you haven't jumped on Connect, there's an endless arsenal of videos and trainings in Connect. I mean, you can find anything you want in there. So definitely check that out as well. And I'm just kind of racing through these so I can wrap up. If you guys have questions, please stop me. Success list. We talked about this actually in the class that I did a couple weeks ago. So make sure you are creating your success list every day, every week, doing your 411. It will work wonders for you to stay on track. And then last but not least, if you liked how I taught today, and if you've gained any value out of today, please fill out the survey. Let me know how I did. Always wanting to improve and do better. Sorry for the technical difficulties this morning, but hopefully you still found a lot of value in today's class. And that's it. Any questions, any ahas you want to share?
No, lots of great information.
Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it, Jalissa. If you need anything, here's putting it in the chat. Feel free to email me. More than happy to help you guys out any way I can. And really appreciate you all being here today.
Great. Thank you.
Have a great day, guys.
Thanks.